Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. In today's video we have a new Wrizz meta going around that I've seen some images on, so I wanted to take a look at what those teams are and test them out against the Wrizz boss over here on Kiasma's account, because we've pretty much got all of them built, so let's get into the video. Okay, so I've had a fair few people message me this image. It's also got a Siren thing. We don't have Siren open at the moment, so when we do unlock Siren, we'll go through the Siren teams as well. But I'm sorry the image is a bit blurry. If anyone has a link to the original copy of where this was posted, let me know, because I just haven't found it, so I can't link it for you guys. But this is the basic teams. You've got the one on the left being the Rosalind, Rowan, Twins, Belinda, Soros, fairly staple. The one on the right being Twins, Warwick, Cecilia, Rosaline, and the Soros, and then the MVP one in the middle being Rosaline, the Twins, Lawson, who's getting some light back, Soros, and Warwick. Now, I'm just going to hide that because it's a really bad image, but we'll go through the teams anyway, and we'll test them all out and see what kind of damage we can do. Now, with those teams, I'm pumped to see Lawson back in there. He used to be really good for Wrizz when he had a bug where it was like forcing a link and he was just getting like bonus damage, but now he does get a chance to shine again. So I want to go ahead and talk about Lawson a bit quickly. So when we look at this ability, so Lawson attacks the enemy for X amount of damage, 170% in this case, marks them with his inner sight symbol, which persists until the end of the battle. The symbol allows for the ultimate ability damage of all allied heroes to be raised by 250% against the marked enemy for 4 seconds. Now, you can see how this really would work with a Belinda or something like that. However, I think the way this is working with Soros is when Soros uses his ultimate, he makes that clone, and it's that clone's damage, which is copying his damage, that gets doubled. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to be working, and that is where Lawson is getting the effectiveness, is with the Soros. So really interested to see how that works. The rest of the team we've pretty much gone through. You got the Twins, you got the Rosalind, pretty staple there, and then you've also got the Warwick, who we went through along with the Soros in previous videos. While I was editing, I realized it would probably be a good idea to put this in there and talk that we are going to talk about like progression and like more early game type teams at the end of the video. I just wanted to test through these core 3 maxed out endgame teams, and then we can talk about the hero placement towards the end of the video with all that stuff. I'll leave timestamps in the description as well for that, so let's continue. So let's take a look at the team in formation, and we'll go through the artifacts that I do have on them. Soros is pretty obvious. He's going to have the Jura's Blade. He just wants to ramp up that attack as much as possible. Now, we've actually put Jura's Eye on Rosaline. I like it more on Rosaline. I did do some testing, but I want her to get the attack speed basically so she can buff more often. It's more important than the Warwick in my personal opinion. Like I said, I tried a few different lineups. This seemed to be the best one, but let me know what you guys are using. So the Twins then got Jura's Call. Normally if I'm playing with Rowan, I will put Rowan with Jura's Call, but because we don't have him, we've got that on the Twins. Warwick is down here with Jura's Grace just because he needed a filler one. I would have loved to give him some attack as well, but because Jura's Eye and also Jura's Conviction don't actually have stats tied to attack stats tied to them, it doesn't really matter. They got crit and accuracy and stuff like that. So I put this one on the Lawson just so he could actually get that attack rating buff. Obviously we want to stack as much attack on these two at the front as possible because they're going to get linked and share their attacks. But that is the formation. We'll go ahead and try this one, and then we'll go ahead and try the others and compare the sort of damage and see whether this one actually does work better for our account, especially consider remembering the Rosaline is going to be following the Twins, but with naked Twins, they just get killed is the issue from testing. So let's go ahead and test this one out. So there we go. On the log, it's not huge damage. We've had better than that before. Unfortunately, I do think this is due to the Rosalind following the twins. I think if Rosalind was following the Saurus, we would have much better damage. But, you know, what we'll do is I'll just demonstrate. We'll go here. Maybe we can get the twins to survive. If we remove this off of them, I kind of want them to keep the call, but we've just got to get them weak enough that Saurus is more powerful. So that's 110.45. Okay, good. All right, we might be able to put another piece of gear back on them, actually. It might all be that Jura's call making the difference. 110. 114. Okay, so this is going to be the test. With the Jura's call off of them, that will allow us to then swap Rosaline. If we go Rosaline, we can swap her onto Jura's call, and then we can go ahead and swap Warwick over to Jura's Eye, and hopefully we can get some more damage out of that. So let's test this one and see how it's going to go. I'm hoping it goes a little bit better. Let's challenge. Let's first make sure that she does follow the Saurus, because that's what we end up wanting. Yes, she does. Okay. When I was testing, I didn't actually consider taking the the artifact off. I didn't realize it was doing it so much. But this could be actually a lot better. I'm curious to see how this goes. Obviously, with that Rosalind following the Saurus, she's going to be giving him the attack buff and all that good stuff. So let's see what happens. What are we up to? Oh yeah, we're gonna. I think we're gonna destroy our best damage. I hope. Fingers crossed. It is unfortunate that you have to take Jura's call off the twins to get this to happen. Don't upgrade your twins past 30 is the key for this one. Leave them at 30, and then you might be able to still defeat some stages, defeat some Wrizz boss. But yeah, as you can see, this damage is ramping up really quickly with that Saurus being followed by the Rosalind, getting the attack buff from Rosalind's passive, and also obviously getting a lot more ultimates, meaning he's getting more advantage out of that Jura's Eye. I mean, not Jura's Eye, out of the eye from Lawson on the Wrizz. There we go. We've already cracked over that top damage that we had done. Moving on to what are we at? 22, not too bad at all. And that's pretty much how we're going to stick it. I am going to stop this one so we can still test the other two teams. We'll stop it there. So that ended up at about, what's that, 26 billion? 100 million. I think that's, yeah, 26 billion. Let's just call it that. Too many zeros to count. I'm going to go ahead and write that down quickly so I don't lose it. And I've lost my pen. So we're not going to write it down. We're going to remember 26. Okay, let's exit. Now, let's go back in here. I think we'll leave the twins stripped like they are, because the next team is going to involve Rosalind as well. Actually, they all are. So the next one we're going to look at is, we'll put this back up there. It's just such a blurry picture. So we're going to go with that. We're going to go ahead and throw the Rowan in there, make sure he's got some gear. Yes, he does. And then we'll equip Jura's call onto him. We'll put him there. We're going to put Jura's Eye back on the Rosalind. Actually, we're going to use Belinda, so we'll probably put it on Belinda and leave like that, because Belinda is really nice. So we're going to go like that, slot her in there. Give her Jura's Eye like that. And then we just got to drop one on Rosaline and see how she goes. So she can have Grace, because that's what's left over. Actually, she can probably have Conviction. Swapping this up, because he's in the back row, we're going to go with Belinda having Conviction. So we'll put the Grace over back onto the Rosaline, and then we'll put Conviction onto the Belinda, and hopefully that should be pretty solid. She should get the range bonus because Wrizz is further back, and we'll see how this one goes. I do really like this comp. I like the Belinda in the Wrizz battles, so we'll see what we can do. Once again, the twins not having an item at the moment, and Belinda is getting followed. Okay, so with Belinda, we had to remove a piece of gear and her artifact to get her to be lower than the Saurus. So we're severely handicapping ourselves. I'm not sure if it's... Saurus just has a low base power, which really does suck for the Rosaline situation. But we're going to do this, see how we can get him to work. And then what we'll do is we'll also try this one, but we'll swap the gear over to the Belinda and see how she does. I'm curious to see how she'll actually play if we max her out and go like that. But I definitely think following the twins is wasted, because you're not getting any extra damage out of either of your damage dealers, and I think that's really the main key. And so I'm happy to try again with that Belinda geared up and Rosaline's following Belinda, because Belinda's ult still does a really, really good chunk of damage. Let me see. And we had 20, what was it? 26 last time? 26 billion? Let's see if we can top that. Let us see if we can top that. Hopefully we can. I don't think we will. I do think that other comp has definitely got the bread over this one, but we will try that Belinda. We'll try it and see how it goes. I mean, Cyrus is just an absolute savage for this type of stuff. Like, he's ridiculous. Keeping in mind, unfortunately, we do have the twins stripped as well without the Druid's Call. And then we'll talk at the end of the video a bit about options, you know, for people don't have everyone maxed. What are we at? 16. I don't think, yeah, we're not going to top it. The 26. But we're going to do decent. We are going to do decent. Let's go. 4, 3, 2. Okay, we'll stop it there. We're about 21. About 21, not too bad. We're going to try again. I'm going to re-equip everything to the Belinda and see if having the Rosaline actually follow the Belinda is more beneficial. So let's do this. Let's do that. You don't need to hear me talking for this one. So once again, we'll put some tunes over and you guys can see what the damage is at the end. Okay, so I decided to skip it entirely because you've already seen that team in action. This one ended up, as you can see, with 2 seconds left, we're at 21.6. So it was about 0.9 or 0.8 billion above the other one. So just tops it if you're in that situation, which a lot of people aren't, I know, but we'll go through the more friendly teams in a minute. But I just wanted to cover that. Now we'll jump over to the next team and take a look at that one. So let's try again. The next team, you know what, I'll just form it up and then we'll get into it. Okay, here we go. This is that final formation. We do have only a 2-star on this account, Cecilia, so she's going to be a little bit weaker, but let's see what we can do with this comp. Hopefully we do decent with it. I don't think this one's going to do as well as the Belinda. I just feel like the Belinda comp has it over this one. We'll see. What have we got? Just, I don't know. I'm curious to see. I would like to try the Cecilia in the front. Actually, no, our Cecilia definitely won't do more damage in the front with the Link, purely because she's going to be only at 2-star and not have quite the damage output that we will get from the Rosaline. So this one's looking a lot slower than the other ones. I remember at about 50 seconds. The other ones were at about 9 billion damage. I think it's billion. Damn. Yeah, 9 billion. Yeah, let's let's call it there. I can't see how many zeros. Yeah, that's 6 zeros, that's 9 zeros, correct. So what are we at? 9. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's not going to get there. It's definitely not going to get there. So that is that team. I think, I definitely think the Lawson is nice. I like the idea of that Lawson. What do we get? 26 billion with that team, which is definitely higher than we can get with any of the other formations, which is fantastic. This one actually might beat the last formation. 15 seconds. We need, what do we need? Like 5 billion? Could we get it? Nah. That ultimate from Cecilia is not doing much damage at all. It's really not doing a good chunk. You see, they went from 18.1 to 18.2 with the Cecilia ult. Stop. Oh, just. Okay, we were probably going to crack the 20 billion, but that is about it. Now I'm going to cut or come back and we'll look at some more reasonable free-to-play or like progression-friendly teams, because obviously this is completely endgame. Okay, with all that out of the way, obviously with a lot of those teams, Saurus at level 30 signature item is going to be key. The 30 signature item, obviously giving it that he does heal his whole team, is going to be very, very important for some of those teams. So if you don't have him, you might have to bring, you know, the Rowan and stuff instead, and that's where a lot of them do make allowances for. But basically, those heroes that we see in that meta picture there, that I've left up, they're pretty much you can mix any of them and get decent damage. Cyrus is definitely the key, the best damage dealer for it. If you don't have him, you can still stick to the Belinda team. You could even try Belinda and Lawson, Belinda and yeah, pretty much Belinda and Lawson is the other option that you can try. You could try with Cecilia, but basically it's all about mixing up those teams on screen there to see what works. Obviously, Cyrus is going to be vital. Like, even an elite Cyrus is going to be a lot better than a lot of things. If you don't have Cyrus Ascended in a lot of them, you're going to want to bring the Rowan for the potions. Rosalind is fantastic, especially if she's following Cyrus. If she's not following Cyrus, not going to be as good unless she's following another main damage dealer that you have. In this case, where she was following the twins, not too optimal. Obviously, twins, even at elite, are going to be handy. And this is where that Cecilia team comes in as well. With Cecilia, if you have obviously just an elite copy of the twins and you're going for a comp something like this or this, doesn't matter the lineup, just depends what works for your team, where your ascensions are and stuff like that. But Cecilia is really nice, especially if you only have an elite copy of the twins, just to sort of mitigate some of that damage to them by her ring being on the Wrizz, reducing his attack. So you can pretty much play around with any of those things. Obviously, if you don't have that, you can put it in a Belinda. You can try the Lawson for the ult damage as well, but it's just a big play around on the heroes that you do have and that. But those are going to be the end game meta teams that you're looking at, so you can work towards them. I'm curious to see if the meta will shift again. Obviously the Warwick came into it, which was a bit of a curveball that people had found out, and he's working really well. Lawson's moved back into it, so I'm looking forward to see what else people can find. I still don't believe this will be the final meta that we see. I feel like there may be other sleeper units out there that could have an effect on it, but we'll have to wait and see. I kind of want to see someone try Anarchy, a maxed out Anarchy, and see if he can help out with his buff and stuff like that. But you know, that's where the meta is at the moment. Just thought I'd share it with you guys, do some testing. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers. Oh snap, you guys were wondering, if those who watched to the end of the video normally, you were wondering where the music was for the outro. It hadn't come yet because in editing I realized I forgot to do the daily giveaway draw. Okay, so hopefully we get it. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a 10 pull for this one. Gonna do a 10 pull just because I feel like there's only gonna be the few people that stay till the end to actually enter it, and the people who left comments and didn't watch to the end. If it go anyway, let's find out if it's a draw anyway. If it's a purple, it's a $20 giveaway. Oh, big rips. Apologies. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for hanging around to the end to see the end. But I'll catch you later.